Thinking about cutting the cord with your traditional landline or digital phone service? Tired of the high cost of AT&T and Vonage? Follow my journey on this episode, Cutting the Cord, a magicJack Plus journey from Laughter on Water. Before I decided to take my journey, I thought I'd check out the pros and cons along with the overall costs. I made a list of additional considerations and pictured in my mind a roadmap of how best to approach the situation. I also made a list of expectations. So let's start with the pros and cons. On the pro side, if you drop your landline altogether, magicJack Plus could cost as much as $1,000 less per year, depending on your included services and bundled costs, and similarly about $300 less per year for digital providers like Vonage. Unlike the previous incarnation of magicJack, the magicJack Plus can be plugged in directly to the internet. You don't have to have a desktop or laptop computer running full-time in order to use this service. On the con side, let's face it, magicJack Plus looks easy to install in the commercial, but it's not. You'll need to learn a little bit about networking and using your router in order to make it anything close to reliable as a service. Besides the magicJack, you'll also need to have a decent, reliable, stable internet connection. When your internet goes out, so does your phone. So for some of us, this isn't such a big deal. If you're running a home office or live with persons in ill health, this could be a problem. Also, you'll need a UPS or uninterruptible power supply. It's basically a battery backup so that when your power fluctuates or winks out for a few seconds every weekend, rain or shine, you won't lose your phone connection mid-conversation. Other things we considered at the beginning of our journey. AT&T just jacked up the cost of our internet service. In a few months, the deal we had for interstate coverage was about to go up too. Charter just introduced a deal for their express service at $20 per month, a perfectly suitable speed. Charter also increased the speed of their lowest tier from 12 down, 2 up to 15 down, 3 up. We already had basic cable TV, so we didn't have an extra connection charge for adding the express internet. And what about UVerse? UVerse has been sitting dormant at the top of our neighborhood for 3 years. They keep tinkering with it, and whenever you ask them at the box when it's coming, they say the same thing. A squirrel has chewed through the lines somewhere in the center of the neighborhood. That's probably a standard answer, so I'm guessing UVerse is not going to get off the ground anytime soon. Even if it did, the price comparison proved expensive compared to the cable-only options. Here's a breakdown of our initial and yearly costs. My initial investment for a magicJack home phone, including all the gadgets I bought to make sure it works, turns out to be about $233. Our AT&T landline and Charter Basic TV together cost about $1,228 total last year. If we went with Charter Internet and magicJack as our phone, the cost is about $516 per year, plus our initial investment of $233 to get a total first-year cost of $749. The total cost of savings in our first year compared with what we paid last year will be about $479, or just under half what we spent last year on phone service. Of course, we can make the suggestion that in the second year our cost will be $556 for the Charter-only scenario. It's likely the savings will be okay, but Charter always attempts to jack up their prices, so we can't pin down a real number. Bottom line, our costs for TV, internet, and phone should be as low as $750 the first year and considerably lower the next. In part 1 of this video series, I discuss pros and cons and explore the costs involved. For our home phone, we decided to cut the cord with AT&T landline and jump to magicJack Plus. In part 2 of this video series, I'll discuss considerations, strategies, and what we thought of as reasonable expectations for the magicJack Plus service. After that, I'll be adding tutorials that may help explain some best practices for VoIP phones in general. We'll also introduce the use of Google Voice as an integral part of your phone system. I'd love to hear your experiences. Please write some comments. That's all there is to this episode. Stay tuned. This is Chris with Laughter on Water. Thanks for watching.